Hello everyone at Enchanted Emerald. This is Melissa bringing you a reading here for my fellow Taurus out there. So Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, this is for you. And this is for the week of July 19th through the 26th, 2023. I have used the Astrology Answers deck for this reading. And so we'll go ahead and get started here with the reading. So for the 19th through the 21st, we have the Hanged Man coming out for that. Now, this is really feeling as though you have been trying possibly with all of your might to see things from a different perspective, really trying to see things differently. I do sense that this Hanged Man at one point could have come up in the reverse. Okay, so this is really a sense that if you are actively trying to change your ways, this is a point in time where this is going to be the do or die. You could possibly be missing an opportunity or something of that nature, really as a result of your own inability to see your worth, your own inability to override your instincts of, what's coming in for you that you typically act on based on your subconscious beliefs. So your inability to change those things and do things differently this time could really hinder you going forward. So with it coming out, though, in this actual upright position, I do feel as though, that the jury is still out, and you could feel as though, because you've been trying so hard to do this, that you could feel as though you've been hung out to dry, right? Your old tried and true methods to make things work, they're just not working anymore, and it's a time for you to get real with yourself, to get real with others. Honesty is really the best policy here. And be honest with yourself about your own shortcomings, okay? Because when you're honest with yourself about that, at least moving forward then, you can say, hey, I know that's not my strong suit. I know that job's not going to be good for me because that's one of my weaknesses. I'm not very good at that. And so what is it that you are really good at? Play to your strengths going forward, be it a job, be it a relationship, whatever's coming up in your life that you're really pondering here, really trying to move forward differently. I do see you ultimately foraging ahead, moving into these greener pastures, right? But we have to be able to work with these insecurities because you have to kind of let go of this whole mindset that you know everything that there is to know about something, right? And it's really going to call for you to release those old behaviors, release those old patterns, things that aren't working for you anymore, and be open, keep an open mind going forward, and really be adaptable to do different things, or do things not just differently, but completely change it up for yourself, because it is really going to take you wildly out of your comfort zone possibly, but you could see that this could be something that you could really excel at if you are putting your mind to it and realize, whoa, I'm discovering new strengths about myself, or maybe even playing to your strengths in a different way, a whole new different way. So this is really calling for you to leave the past in the past, including those worries, right? Putting that worry energy out there is not doing anybody any good. There's a tendency here for you to be a bit reserved as a result of some of these insecurities. Listen, you could get tongue-tied trying to explain yourself, trying to come up with reasons, to back yourself, to keep yourself into that comfort zone. But just remember that these opportunities that are showing up for you, or coming in for you, that you are in alignment with, they're exclusive for you, okay? You can't mess these things up. And so this is about you growing into a whole new version of yourself, and I'm getting big chills with that, so that's a great thing. Moving into the weekend, we have the Temperance card coming out. That's a beautiful energy. I think that this is really an invitation for us through the weekend on the 22nd and 23rd to really slow down, okay? I do feel that the energy will slow down a bit for you. You could be hearing some good news. They could, bring in some good news for you. Family, friends, you could be hearing something great. I just feel like there's this sense of you kind of standing on the rooftop, shouting. You're super excited about it. Just remember with this Temperance card, that there comes an alchemy with this, okay? So with this Temperance card, there's an earth element and a water element. When you mix the two of those, there's a tendency here to create this muddy mess, okay? So there is a tendency for us with this slow down to sink into that mud. But remember with this, it's about mixing our emotions while we're feeling grounded, right? So this is really going to call for you to kind of see things with your higher mind while you're still standing here grounded in your physical self. So this is about manifesting your divine energy, bringing that down, drawing that down into your earthly vessel, and allowing that to consume you, okay? So drawing that within, allowing that to shine out into all that you surround yourself with, to help you to make the most of this, okay? So make the most of this opportunity, make the most of this good news, make the most of what is happening for you, within you, and around you, okay? So this is important because this helps us to open our mind when we are gaining access to that higher mind, right? When we're able to see things with our mind's eye, we are seeing things a little bit more abstract, perhaps, and so this is helping us to free our mind. And once we are able to free our mind a bit, we will open ourselves up more to more opportunities, to see things with that new perspective. And once you are doing that, that is the true essence of that alchemy, right? We're letting go of these misconceptions, right? These things that, these viewpoints, these opinions, things that have mattered to us most of our lives, if not all of our lives, right? As a result of viewpoints that we've adopted along the way because of experiences we've had or things that we've been taught, right? Because they're no longer going to resonate for us going forward, right? So it's challenging those, seeing if those are still true for us. Do they hold true for us still because we've grown? Because if we're not willing to challenge those beliefs or to see things differently and allow our mind to grow as we grow physically or as we grow through experiences, it can really become like a great big disaster. Okay, so allowing yourself to alchemize all of your emotional lessons, alchemize our minds, right? So that we are not getting stuck in that mud, okay? So moving into the 24th and 25th, which is Monday, Tuesday. Now, it's funny because when I pulled this Hierophant card, this is exactly what it looked like, okay? But then I realized, oh my goodness, look, there's two cards there. And so the Queen of Swords also comes out with this Hierophant card, right? I love the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords comes in and is not going to take anything from anybody. So, but it's a very traditional energy that comes in with that Hierophant, okay? You are very much in your mind with that Queen of Swords, okay? Really feeling as though you are being plagued with doubts at this time. And I feel like you could be feeling like something is off about someone or something. Okay, you could be very trusting of someone in your inner circle, but you just can't put your finger on it. But like, gosh, there's just something that's kind of off about them. And maybe every once in a while they make like a backhanded comment to you, and you're like, where did that come from? You know, but you just kind of play it off, or you like brush it off or let it go. You know, like maybe they're having a bad day, you give them some grace. And so, you know, and I'm getting big chills with this. So I feel like this is validating someone out there. So I feel like, you know, you kind of override their judgment and their harshness at times and kind of play it off like it's not that big of a deal. But at the end of the day, it's almost as if like someone's making a mockery of someone, right? And it could leave somebody feeling betrayed. And maybe that person is you. Maybe it's you that's feeling betrayed, or that your feelings are being hurt. And so it's important for this person to be mindful of that. So maybe you have to give them a little nudge, like a verbal a reminder, a verbal boundary of like, hey, you know, that kind of hurts my feelings. Is everything okay? Just kind of see where this is all coming from, because I do think that this person maybe perhaps tends to just get loud and boisterous at times. And I feel like they're wanting to celebrate a special occasion with you this week. And so before you're entering into an agreement with them to go and do that, maybe having that conversation with them would be beneficial, because if you were to go into a place where you're in public and then something happens where they get loud or they kind of mock you in a way where you feel degraded or belittled, you don't want to put yourself in that situation. Okay, so yes, feel free to get loud, feel free to celebrate, but be sure that you are doing that with people in your inner circle with whom you truly trust 100%. Okay, so moving into Wednesday the 26th, we have the Five of Swords. So this is just kind of coming in with that energy from that Monday, Tuesday, kind of following up with that. There's a bit of conflict here with this, and you can see, you know, there's people that are walking away, putting down their swords, like I'm not going to fight, I'm not going to worry about that. You could come into an energy on Wednesday the 26th feeling as though you're a little bit lost in despair, hopeless, maybe even about things after things have come to light, right? Things are now, you know, out in the open. You have full knowledge of everything. Maybe you had a conversation with that person, and maybe there have been disparaging remarks that have been made, right? And so that is feeling not good. So, you know, I really feel like this is something that you feel that's been happening, that you feel in your core has been morally wrong, and maybe perhaps you have to have that conversation with that person of like, look, I feel, you know, betrayed, and I really need to take some space from you completely for a while, you know. So you have to tie up loose ends there ultimately, right? You need to get to the bottom of things. You need to find out the full truth about things. You deserve an apology if that has happened to you. So that's just where that energy of that Five of Swords is coming in to round out the week. But overall, the advice here, 4 cards came out actually. We have 7 of Cups coming in with King of Swords. We have Queen of Swords and King of Swords coming out for us, Taurus. So Knight of Cups and last Death card. Now again, I think Death card came up in one of the readings recently, but reminder here with this Death card is that it's 13, and that adds up to a 4 in numerology, which is new beginnings. So with any Death card, there is transformation, ultimately new beginnings. Okay, so yes, it looks like a yucky card, but ultimately new things come in at the end of that. And so it's just getting through that energy. Now with this, I really feel as though there's this maybe unsettled is the word, energy that is kind of accompanying this overall. And I do feel like at the end of the day, you might be feeling humiliated after everything that you've been through this week. And I feel like with that, even though you might be feeling silly, this was something that has happened and come to light so that you can move forward now from that. So understand that there's this distinct feeling here that for you, there will be no turning back, okay? And you will be forever changed from this, okay? And I feel like moving forward, you will put one foot in front of the other, and you're going to slowly trudge forward. You're kind of begrudgingly going forward because this is accompanied with some sadness, of course, but you will make some slow, steady progress to fresh energy. And I emphasize the word fresh because it felt almost tapping into that energy like a breath of fresh air, like outside in this crisp fall air, just breeze blowing. And I love fall, and I love the crisp autumn air. And so that's really what I felt like, that this breath of fresh air, just new energy coming in for you. Now when we think of fall though, it does symbolize that Death card, right? Because we have the leaves falling down and it's ushering in that wintering phase. But in that wintering phase for you can be a very creative phase, right? A very withdrawn, you know, in your feelings, but preparing for that next phase, what's coming, where can I go from here? What am I building, right? You can get very imaginative with that. And so I get this like phrase coming in with this, like, we ride, right? And so when I think of that, it's almost as if you could be replaying in your mind, perhaps repetitively, all of these things that you've gone through to get you to this point, be it through relationships, through jobs, through all of these things. And it's almost like you sit in that energy and you're like, man, that's really messed up. Like all that stuff that I went through, and I can't believe it. I went through all of that. It's almost like you get like, you're so frustrated by it, or you're so sad, but like also you kind of laugh because you find it comical. You're like, I can't even believe this. This is so like grotesque. Like it's almost like in disbelief that you've gone through so much to get you to this point. So now we need you to focus on changing that phrase from we ride to we rise, because I was shown the phoenix rising from the ashes. So after this storm passes now, you will be the phoenix rising from the ashes. And so I sense with this like a social justice coming in for you, Taurus. So when I think of like the social justice, or you're on a crusade for social justice, but like equal opportunities, equal wealth distribution, right? All this social justice stuff kind of comes in, where perhaps you stood for, equal opportunities within a relationship in the past, or perhaps in the past career, you stood for, like I made really good money in this, and now I'm transitioning to where maybe I'm not making such great money, but now I know what it's like to be on that side of that. And now I know that we need more, better wealth distribution, or there's some lessons that you're carrying through with you to, equal to opposite, right? Like to equal things out, like where everything is coming full circle almost, right? So perhaps in past relationships, you were the main breadwinner, right? And now it's the opposite, where somebody else is the main breadwinner. Maybe they make more money than you this time, or something. So there's some things with this social justice kind of coming up, those themes kind of coming up, where I feel like they're coming full circle, where you are now seeing things from that whole new perspective with a hangman. So it's opening your mind up more and more to seeing how the other half of things are, with that. So, but you are ultimately moving into those greener pastures, because you're seeing that even though you were connected and felt like that was the way, or had to be the way this whole time, you're realizing it doesn't necessarily have to be that way, because look, I'm thriving regardless. So you're seeing it from the other side, and it's a beautiful restoration of that viewpoint into like wholeness. And I love that so much for us, Taurus. So I hope that this resonates for you. As always, thank you so much for listening, and I of course will be back with another read for you guys again soon. Thank you so much. Take care.